Dia. Hello. So today, just about Nesporas. I've just been reading about these Nespora trees, or Loquats as in English, but in Portugal they're known as Nesporas. And we have this incredibly large Nespora tree, probably as big as they get. I've just been reading up about them. And I don't really know much about them. I've not really seen them in the UK, so it's sort of a new tree to me. But they're really amazing plants or trees, and one of the things I learned is you can make tea out of the leaves. The fruits have got some medicinal properties, as well as being very nutritious and being high in potassium and magnesium and vitamin B6 and vitamin A, I think it was. They also can have some medicinal qualities, like they are good for diarrhea and for depression, and can even apparently help with alcoholic intoxication. So if you're a bit too drunk, maybe make some Nespora tea out of the leaves, or eat some Nespora fruit, and it might sober you up a bit. So, but we don't really get much of the fruit because it's just so high and difficult to get. And so we sort of tend to leave all the fruit to just ripen, fall off. The birds love it, so the birds will eat the fruit. The leaves that do come off, it's an evergreen tree, but there are lots of leaves that it lets go. We can use that to mulch and to help with the gardens, help with the beds. They seem to be working very well at retaining the moisture on the potato beds. But reading up about some of the qualities, particularly the magnesium and the potassium, I thought, well, what I can use is the fruits that have fallen. So what I'm doing is I'm just going to pick up the fruits that have fallen off, chuck them into that bucket, and keep chucking them into the bucket. You get the idea. And then I'm going to put water in the bucket, and I'll chuck some leaves in there as well, and make a bit of a compost tea, and I can use that onto the vegetable beds. So I have found a use for it. Hooray! And the other thing is I haven't tried the tea from the leaves yet, so I'm going to pick some leaves. I can reach a few of the leaves, so I'm going to pick some leaves and make some tea as well, and I'll tell you what that tastes like. Apparently you shouldn't drink too much of the leaves because they do have a sort of a cyanide content, so you got to be careful not to drink too much, a bit like the pips of apples. So okay, so yeah, I'm just going to carry on popping these. So there's my bucket. I decided to use a smaller bucket because this one I might use for other things. This one I can leave for 2 weeks. So yeah, fill that up with water. I'm just going to put a lid on it so don't get so many mosquitoes around breeding in it, and leave it for a couple of weeks. And there we go. And then make a good compost tea. Now, if you want to know more about composting, David the Good and his survival channel, Survival Gardening I think he's called, David the Good in Alabama, has some great information about composting. Come with me into the secret garden. So we have this lovely space underneath the Nespora tree that is there, that gives amazing shade and a cool space even when it gets really hot. We also have here this beautiful mature hazel, and I'll talk about how I've been propagating that in another video. But also it produces lots of canes as well. And also here, to give more shade, is of course our fig tree, which is a ginormous fig tree. I've got this crazy idea of putting somewhere around about there a platform and an armchair, because I think it'll be a nice place to sit in the shade with the birds and the bees and the insects, and to hang out reading a book up there on the hotter days when it's too hot to work. But I came here just to pull out a couple of leaves, because this is the place where I was able to get, some of the fruits from these branches that are hanging in a place I can actually reach. So I'm going to get a couple of the leaves and make some tea and tell you what it tastes like. There we go, so let that brew for a bit. So, it's been brewing for about 5 minutes. Let's see what it looks like. Doesn't look like it's much colour to it, but let's try it. Maybe it needs to be broken down a bit more or dried. I'm not quite sure, but I'm now going to taste it. Well, it's definitely got some flavour. It's quite nice. It's like a herbal tea. Yeah, that's all right. Wow. Cool. Well, next time I might add some of the St. John's wort that I am starting to crop now. Who'd have thought it? Nespora tea. It's quite nice. Okay, so obviously, as I always say, please thumbs up to the video if you liked it, notification bell and subscribe if you want to see more videos. There's travelogue videos and foraging videos and gardening videos on the channel. Thank you for watching, and I appreciate that very much, and see you in the next video. Bye.